But my adventures with Superman. Uh, so in the last episode, they gave Superman a new power, um, that he doesn't have in the comics, as far as I know.
Oh,
Um, so I wrote that I won't spoil it, but low key everything I'm about to say is subtle spoilers. but
okay.
it's interesting. Um, and I think they may be leaning into Superboy's tactile telekinesis from the comics. In the comics, the tactile telekinesis is like a field of energy that can be extended out
Mm-hmm.
and used to exert force on objects, essentially do telekinesis. And sometimes in some comics, it's used as an explanation for how Superman gets all of his powers. That his tactile telekinesis is powered by solar radiation, and it allows him to make force fields that make him invulnerable, or propel himself through the air to fly, or extend himself outward to lift things. And that's how he flies at super strength and is invulnerable. Um,
Right.
and if they're going that route, I'm excited because I think that's an interesting take. Even if it's not necessarily that it fuels all his powers, but it's just an extra thing that he has that he doesn't normally have.
Mm-hmm.
Usually that's a Superboy thing. Superboy has the tactile telekinesis, but giving it to Superman, I think is interesting because, like we talked about last season, this show is very anime influenced, and they've
Right.
been leaning into like some Dragon Ball and like Sailor Moon references with Superman in this, which is really fun. It makes a lot of sense. I feel like those two series are. I wouldn't be surprised, especially. I mean, Dragon Ball is already very clearly inspired by Superman. Everything about Goku is inspired by Superman, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sailor Moon took some inspiration from Superman as well. Um, but yeah, this show's good. What else we got? Lois in this episode is competing with her role model Vicky Vale of the Gotham Gazette for an article about the tech company Abertech, and their new clean energy. And just investigative reporting shenanigans with Lois are always one of the biggest highlights in Superman stories, so it's fun to get that.
Right.
And this episode introduces Cyborg's dad. Um, why am I forgetting his name? I almost called him by Cyborg's name, which is Victor Steele. Not Steele. Steele is a completely different character. Victor Stone. Silas Stone, that's the thing. And they also introduced John Henry Irons, aka Steele. And the fact that we're getting John Henry and Supergirl in the same season is incredible. Like I keep saying,
Yeah.
I want to see the Super family expanded in this universe because they do such a good job of writing those characters and their interactions with each other, and their relationships is easily the best part of the show. But it wouldn't be my adventure with Superman if I wasn't talking about the one thing about this show that I despise. And Livewire's design is beyond trash, and I will never get over it. I get upset anytime she shows up. It makes me
Oh.
mad. The people working on the show have a superpower almost as great as Superman's, and it's creating the most milk toast version of Superman's villains to ever exist. They made Metallo a robot. Now, there's hope that maybe they'll make the cyborg version later. But if I'm being real
Mm-hmm.
with you, I doubt it. I completely doubt
Yeah.
it. They are doing some more stuff with Lex in this season, and that's fun. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see how he goes bald. Uh, because right now he's got a full head of red hair, and I'm like, nah, son, the hair gotta go. Um,
No.
it's gotta go somehow. I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's gotta happen. I don't know if
It's
get
gotta go.
he's gonna get cancer from all that kryptonite, which is a storyline that's happened in the comics before.
Oh yeah.
Because kryptonite is literally radioactive pieces of exploded krypton that shot across space, and Lex Luthor just be keeping it in his back pocket. He doesn't put
But
it
like,
like Batman. At least puts it in a lead case on his utility belt. Nah, Lex Luthor just puts that in his pocket. He puts it in his breast pocket over his heart.
he keep that thing on him.
That's how that.
He's nothing if not dedicated.
I bet you it's gonna be something related to kryptonite on how he loses his hair. But yeah, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think the show's good, and I'm glad that it's showing people that Superman is more than a boring, overpowered character. He's just so much more than his superpowers, and that Superman and his stories represent hope and compassion, something sorely lacking in today's pessimistic, internet-driven society. And he's an extremely important character that we will always need. And to quote Grant Morrison, writer of All Star Superman, Somewhere in our darkest night, we made up the story of a man who will never let us down.